Together with Earle Sports Bets, yeah, the twins, they be checking in. Stacking up, green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. I'm joined here as always by my brother Tim. And yes, we're doing it at night. We're doing a night show here to talk about NFL tomorrow, and we'll touch on the hockey games. Those are going to be kind of tough to cap right now because some of them are still playing, some of them are playing later. So we won't spend too much time on them. And then we have Mets-Dodgers game 1 in the NLCS, a very important game. We'll talk about that to close out the show. But we have, well, no recap really because, I mean, we still got action going. We'll be talking about the action going forward here that we do have going on right now. We'll probably touch in, talk about scores and things along those lines. Yeah, because Tim works tomorrow and I have something in the morning that I can't do the show tomorrow in the morning, and NFL is very important. Playoff baseball is very important. So we're going to get right into it, but we'll head over to the comments first, and then we'll get into the slate. What's good? Stop Geo in the chat. So let's get into some NFL. Let's get the backdrop up. There we go. Wow, look at that just absolutely gorgeous record in ROI right now for me, Tim. Let's get into it. The London game. The Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Chicago Bears. Bears. It's a pick 'em with a total of 45 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this one, as this line has moved. It opened, look ahead line was 1.5, opened up at a 1.5, got up to a 2. Come back down to a 1.5, down to a 1, down to a pick 'em now in this game, which I 100% agree with. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. Look at headline 42.5, opening line 43, now a 45. So move towards the over here as well, which is kind of interesting there because I know a lot of people, when they think international games, they think unders. So kind of interesting there that the line is moving towards that over. And the sharp money is all over the Jaguars here. 26% of the tickets and 69% of the cash on the spread. 29% of the tickets, 31% of the cash on the money line. And then 21% of the tickets, 73% of cash on the under. But yet this line moving towards the over here does kind of pique my interest a little bit with this over as well. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars coming in off of, I believe, their first win of the season last week, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yes, they beat the Indianapolis Colts 37-34. That's right. That was a very frustrating game because I had Jaguars -3 in that game. They were at 14 points with about 6 minutes to go, I want to say, and they end up not covering. My bad. They end up pushing the -3. I ended up winning the -2.5 for the contest, but still. That was their first one of the season. But when you looked at Jacksonville's schedule, Tim, they started off the season with Miami, with Tua still healthy. They played Cleveland, and then they went on the road against Buffalo and Houston, two teams that will probably be in the playoffs this season. And then on the flip side, we have the Chicago Bears. They opened up their season with a 24-17 win over the Tennessee Titans. They followed that up with 2 straight losses against Houston and Indianapolis, both on the road. Caleb Williams has been perfect in Chicago so far because then he followed that up with wins against LA and Carolina. Granted, those teams have combined for 2 wins this year, LA and Carolina. And now they get another one-win team here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think this is a spot where and we'll see it next week as well. Jacksonville, they've made their second home kind of in London here. We know they play multiple games per year in London. They'll be playing next week in London as well against the New England Patriots. So I am on the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game. I'm going to be taking the money line here in this spot. I will be on that game, and that is a contest pick for me, which we will get into those contest picks and things along those lines we will be recording Earls versus Girls after the show as well. So Jaguars money line is going to be on my card here for me.
Yeah, I kind of looked at this one. Yes, Jacksonville kind of does have their second home or whatever in London. This is still a Jacksonville team that I'm still not high on. And I figured that they would be pretty bad this year, and they've looked the part. The Bears, I figured were going to be pretty bad, and when they're not at home, they are pretty bad. So this is just one that I kind of looked at. I wouldn't hate your over look. I could easily see this one going over the 44.5, but just because it's the early London game doesn't mean you have to play it. I kind of wanted to just stay off of this one. I feel like there's better spots on the card for me.
Which is fair. I definitely understand there being better spots on the card. I actually really like this spot with Jacksonville and being able to fade Caleb Williams traveling into Europe. And having not only a rookie quarterback that's yet to win a road game, and now he has to go play an international game as well. I'm going to challenge him to do that. I got -105 with Jacksonville.
There you go. Stop Jew with the 199 dono saying thank you guys for the consistent grind and plays. Stop Jew, we appreciate the dono, appreciate you stopping by and hanging out for the shows. Because you guys are a big reason why we can do this every day. So we do appreciate it. Tennessee came out about as flat as a pancake tonight. Yeah, with somebody who has Tennessee in the over, I'm not too happy with the game right now. I like the Bears initially, but the line movement has me thinking about it for sure. Yeah, I'm going to end up staying off of the early game. I do kind of want to go after this one.
I do too, and unfortunately, I thought the line was going to move one way, and it's moved the other way. Because I was thinking because the other day when I was writing down plays I kind of liked and kind of doing like my first cap or whatever, I had written down the under 52, which 51.5, 52. I don't think that's that much of a difference other than 28-24. Like that's like the main score there. I kind of like the under a little bit in this game. Let's get into it though. The look ahead line for this game was 50. The opening line is a 50.5. It's now to a 51.5 in this game. Line opened up at look ahead line was a 7. Game opened up at a 6.5, and it stayed at a 6.5 so far. We have 57% of the tickets are on the Commanders on the spread, but yet 57% of the cash is on the Ravens spread. So the sharper money coming in on Baltimore in this game. 73% of the tickets, 68% of the cash on the over, yet this line has moved a point towards the over, so I guess they're respecting it a little bit here. And I kind of want to use recency bias against the general public in this game, because what have we seen from these teams the last few weeks? Overs, and more overs. We have a Baltimore Ravens team coming in off of a high-flying 41-38 win in overtime against the Cincinnati Bengals. Previous to that, they put up 35 points against the Bills, and they put up 28 points against the Cowboys. On the flip side, we have the Washington Commanders, who have done nothing but put up points the last 3 weeks, and they've played the 3 straight overs. 38-33 against the win against the Cincinnati Bengals, which we've learned their defense sucks, the Bengals. Both these teams lit up the Bengals. 42-14 win for the against the Cardinals, and then they put up 34 points against the Browns last week. Now, I think this Ravens defense is better than what we've seen so far this season, and I do expect them to turn it around defensively, because when you look at the way this Ravens team is defensively this year, it's not good, but I mean, they're number one in the league in rushing yards allowed. So the only problem is they're 31st in passing yards allowed. So this team gives up a lot of passing yards, but they don't give up a lot of rushing yards. What is Washington going to do in this game? What is Washington's main source of offense?
Pass.
Running the football. I think this is a game where the Ravens defense shuts down the Washington Commanders run game. And I would only look towards the Ravens on the side in this one, laying the points in this game. I think the under's the better play, though. And I can get under 51.5. I'm right. I'm keeping my eye on that one. I think I want to move on the under in this game.
I'm going to go on the Ravens. I like them. I can get a 6.5 on the Ravens. I know a lot of people will look at I don't want to say a lot of people look at this game and want to go Commanders at plus money, but the Commanders have looked great.
Commanders love, yeah.
The Commanders have looked great the past couple of weeks. You finally see Jalen Daniels actually play well, and I knew this was coming because I said in the beginning of the year or during the draft, I said if you're the first overall pick, I'm going after freaking Jalen Daniels, not Caleb Williams. That was my thought. And the fact that they didn't was extremely surprising to me that it ended up working out like that. I really like this spot for the Ravens, though. Jalen Daniels has looked great, but at the same time, I'm going to end up jumping on the Ravens. I got the minus 6.5.
All right. So here's another. I think if we put our two caps together for this one and kind of the way this game is looking, I'm kind of interested in the Commanders team total under now. Because when you look at the way stylistically this game matches up, I think this game's going to be lower scoring than people think. And I think this Commanders team is going to struggle to run the football. And I want to challenge Jalen Daniels to beat me with his arm. That's what she said. But yeah, sorry. But I'm gonna challenge Daniels to move the ball through the air this game. So I'm probably going to be either on the Ravens spread, Commanders team total under, full game under. I'm leaning more towards the unders in that game. I don't know if I'm going to move on it yet. As always, check my CapperTek, and I'll be posting all my plays there.
For some reason, Fanatics was letting me get Skins at plus 14.5, and the over 45 is a teaser. Parlay at minus 120. I like the 8-point teaser. Why not? Commanders upset Lamar. Lamar overrated and secondary horrendous. Well, okay. Eye test would tell you it's going to be a close game, Baltimore-Washington. I could see that. Then why is everybody all over Washington?
I could see 20-17. Like I could see something along those lines. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as people think.
McLaurin over yards. I can still see McLaurin over yards, but the Commanders are still going to want to try to rush the ball. Let's keep rolling though, Nick.
Yeah, Leafs take a 3-1 lead there against the Penguins. That's kind of nice. Let's get into it there. The next one, I didn't write anything down for this game. This was one of those where when I did my capping earlier in the week, nothing really appealed to me in this game. Let's get into it. The Green Bay Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. The Packers are 5.5-point favorites with a total of 47 in this one. Line opened up 5.5. It's still a 5.5. The line's not moved. It's my bad. It's moved 2 cents. My bad. Look ahead line 5.5 and pick them minus 110 on both sides. Opening line 5.5 minus 115 towards the Packers. Now it's minus 112. So I guess a 3-cent line movement here towards the towards the Arizona Cardinals. Look ahead line 50.5. Opening line 49.5. We're down to a 47 in this game, which tells me maybe an under in this spot. Yeah, my bad. I'm wrong. I wrote the under down as a potential play in this game. We have 73% of tickets, 70% of the cash is on the over, yet this line's moving towards the under. And then we have 22% of tickets, and that's money line, never mind, 59% of tickets and 58% of cash on the Cardinals in this game. We have the Cardinals coming in off of a big upset win, right? They're coming in off that upset win against the San Francisco 49ers as 7.5-point underdogs. They came back from down double digits to win the game by 1 point there in that one, which was following in the blowout loss against the Commanders. The Green Bay Packers are coming in off of a winning cover against the LA Rams, 24-19. And for me, I was looking under. I have a lot of unders written down, I noticed on this card. I lean under in this spot. That's the only way I would look at this game. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on this one. It's not one of my more confident unders.
I didn't want to go after a side. I did go after I didn't want to go after a total. I did go after a side. And one of these is actually, you'll end up seeing all the Earls versus Girls plays, but I have a play for the Earls versus Girls in this one. Give me the Cardinals. I grabbed the Cardinals plus the points. I know they're coming off of a big upset win San Fran is not it this year. Obviously, they took it. They took advantage of a bad Seattle team last game, but this is. I'm not overly concerned about that. I just don't think that the Green Bay Packers should be 5.5-point favorites on this one. And when it comes to it, I think Arizona is a stronger team than most people think. I think Arizona has a shot at the division. I know that sounds crazy, but at this day and age, when the Niners are not looking as good, Seattle doesn't look great, and LA's won one game, I think Arizona has a real shot at the division. And I think Arizona has a shot to win this game outright versus the Green Bay Packers. I took their plus 5.5. I will probably jump on their money line as well. You give me the Arizona Cardinals in this one.
Fair. Yeah, this is one where I guess Cardinals are nothing, but definitely not a side I have any interest in.
Drew against me again. Cardinals ain't covering 2 weeks in a row. No shot, right? Now this game I have no interest in.
I really like this game.
Okay.
I have a side and a total written down that I would like to move on in this game. Let's get into it. We have the Green Bay, wrong game. We have the New England Patriots and the Houston Texans in this game. Look ahead line 6.5, opening line 7, and it stayed a 7, and then it's moved 9 cents towards the Green Bay. Why the hell am I saying Green Bay still? New England Patriots in this game. It went from a 7 minus 110 to a 7 minus 119, so we do have a move towards them. Look ahead line 41.5, opening line 30, opening line 41. Look ahead line 41, opening line 38.5, down to a 37.5, so a 1-point line movement towards the under here as well. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one here, where we have, if I can find it, there we go. 83% of tickets, 84% of cash on the Texans. The line's moving slightly towards the Patriots in this game. 87% of tickets, 76% of the cash is on the over in this game. The line moving towards the under. I have both the side and the total written down for this one. I would like to move on both the side and the total in this one here. And we have the New England Patriots coming in. They're not looking very good as of late. They're 1-4 this year. They're coming in off of a 15-10 loss against the Miami Dolphins. It was their 4th loss in a row following their 16-10 week 1 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. On the flip side, with the Houston Texans, who are coming in off of 2 straight wins, they beat Jacksonville 24-20, and they followed it up with a 23-20 win over the Buffalo Bills. It was the first time the Houston Texans had covered a spread all year. Even despite their 4-run record, they're 1-3-1 ATS. They didn't cover as 3-point favorites against the Colts. They didn't cover it. They pushed as 6-point favorites against the Bears. They didn't cover an outright loss as 1.5-point favorites against the Vikings. They didn't cover as 5.5-point favorites against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They finally covered against the Bills because they were 1-point favorites in that one. And looking at this game for me, I'm going to challenge the Houston Texans to cover a spread of at least a field goal. And it's a full touchdown in this one here. Give me the Patriots in this spot at +7. This is going to be a contest play for me as well. And I'm going to go ahead and take the under 37.5 in this game too. Because I see New England's offense, and I'm not impressed whatsoever. I think this game could be one of those 16-13 type of ugly football games. Or maybe it's something like we saw last week with the Miami Dolphins game, where it's a 15-10 type of game. I don't trust the Houston Texans covering spreads. I don't think they're as good as people think they are. And I think they're an overvalued football team. Even at 4-1. They have yet to cover a spread, which tells me they're kind of reminding me of what the Chiefs were last year. They would win football games, but they do not cover spreads. I think this is another one of those spots here. I'm going to be on the Patriots plus the 7. I'm going to be on the under 37.5 in this game.
Good luck. I just didn't feel the need to go after this one. There are some spots I like on this card. I didn't get to every single game. Houston, New England. Yeah, I can understand the under. I don't see New England scoring all that much. And I feel like the under could correlate with New England. But at the same time, you could easily see New England score 3 points in this game, and we wouldn't be surprised.
No.
Now, I will question Is it going to be Jacoby Brissett still, or are they going to Drake May?
They're going to Drake May.
That could be a little bit concerning. Or it could either be it's either going to be one of two things, and it's going to be very nice for the Patriots, or it's going to bite them in the ass, and they're not going to do anything. I'm gonna stay away from this game. I want to see how Drake May plays against an actual defense.
Yeah, and that is the concerning factor of it. In my head, grabbing both the Patriots and the under, I think the only way I lose the Patriots plus the points is that they score 10. And this is a 20-10, 23-10 type of game. I think the only way New England loses, does not cover, this game stays under. I don't think New England does not cover if this game goes over.
That's
type
fair.
of thing.
Pats spread and the team total under for Houston.
Yeah, I'm on the same page there. Yeah, I agree.
And I'll mention another comment that we forgot to mention, but I don't mention injuries and stuff. But Texans first half minus 10.5, minus 115ish. They're 4-1 so far to this number. Been relatively hot starters. Minus 10.5 in the first half. Fair. Houston suspect on the road with no Nico Collins.
Yeah,
that's another big factor is their offense. Whereas obviously they have Diggs, but no Nico Collins is definitely not going to help. That's first half team total. That makes more sense. Win or loss, Texans will be at the top of the division. I could see the Pats winning first home game with the rookie quarterback. And it is good that they are playing at home.
Could this be a spot where the team steps up for their rookie for the brand new quarterback?
It could 100% be one of those spots. Is it something I want to go after right now? No.
Fair. And we'll talk about one of those spots this next game too, which I want to bet against. And I clicked in Buccaneers -3 as a contest pick. And I'm going to stick with the Bucs as a contest pick at the very least. Let's get into it here. We have Tampa Bay and New Orleans in this game here. Look ahead line 3, opening line 2.5, and it's now a 3.5. And then look ahead line 44.5, opening line 45, and after the news, it's down to a 41.5 now. I'm guessing after the news came out, it was a 42.5, and it's moved that way. So we have a decent move towards the under and a decent move towards the Buccaneers, which the market is expecting Spencer Rattler to be terrible. And we have 72% of tickets, 81% of the cash is on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's gone over that key number though. It's gone over the 3. So there's that in that spot. So at least the market is respecting that. We have 83% of the tickets and 66% of the cash is on the over. Now the New Orleans Saints started off the year hot. They started off where their offense could literally do absolutely no wrong. They put up 44 points. Again, or 47 points in a 47-10 win over the Carolina Panthers. Then they beat the Dallas Cowboys 44-19. Then, their offense is gone. A 15-12 loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. They did put up a couple points there, 24 points in the 26-24 loss against the Atlanta Falcons, and then they lose 26-13 against the Chiefs. This is more of the Saints that I was expecting heading into the season, was a team that's going to struggle, a team that I took under 7.5 wins for a reason. I'm not high on this New Orleans Saints team. And on the flip side, I like this Bucs team a little bit. They're coming in off of a loss, but that was on Thursday Night Football, so they have extra time to prepare for this New Orleans Saints team and Spencer Rattler. They had a lead. I believe they had a double-digit lead late in that fourth quarter, where with 10.5 minutes to go, they kicked a field goal, which put them up, and they were up, and they were driving late in the game, and then I think they turned the ball over, and then the Falcons went down, kicked a field goal, and then scored a touchdown, and the Buccaneers did not cover. in that game. So kind of a rough game for Tampa Bay in their last one there. I'm going to be on the Buccaneers, and I want the -3 is what I want in this game. I'm okay with the 3.5. -3, -130. I'm kind of tempted to just do that. It's a little juicy, but it gets rid of the hook. So I got to decide whether I want the 3.5 at -105 or the 3 at -130. I think I just do the 3.5 because I think at the very least, I think this is a blowout game. And I want the Buccaneers in the spot laying the points.
I just took the under. I think Rattler does nothing. I understand taking Tampa Bay, but I don't trust Tampa Bay either. I really don't. This is not a Tampa Bay. Although their offense has been good, at least the past 2 weeks it has. Their defense has looked kind of shaky, but against a rookie quarterback, you should be able to tighten up and you should be fine there. But I do not want to trust Spencer Rattler. I think the Saints probably score 10 at the most, and I just do not see the Bucs scoring 30 plus. So I took the under. I got 42 in this one. I'm just expecting maybe the better play is Saints team total under, but I don't really play team totals all that much. So I'm going to take the under in this game in general.
I like that look an awful lot. That'd be a nice way to fade Rattler. Because I do think that this Buccaneers defense can shut him down. So that's actually a really good look. I might add that maybe.
Bucs smash, Rattler over interception. Yep. Evans anytime touchdown. Buckley over his rushing yards. Bucs team total over. You wait until the AM. You'll probably get a Fanatics boost. You could throw that on the -3.
Yeah, that could be an option as well.
We'll go to one of my favorite plays this week, Nick.
We have the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cleveland Browns. The Eagles -9.5 point favorites, total of 42.5 in this game. Now, I do have a play I've circled that I would like to move on, and let's get into it. This look ahead line, Tim, was a 6. And then it reopened up at 8.5. It's now a 9.5. Look ahead line 44.5. Opening line 44.5. Down to a 42.5. So we've had a 2-point line movement towards the under here as well. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this matchup here, where we have 79% of tickets and 69% of the cash. Nice is on the over. And then we have 64% of the tickets and 71% of the cash on the Eagles in this game. The lines move towards the Eagles in this spot. And I get it. Cleveland's look terrible. And which is kind of part of the cap here for me in this one. And usually one thing we've noticed is when teams when teams struggle and like the Browns have, the lines moving up tell me that that's maybe we can catch a good line with the Cleveland Browns. Like plus the 10, something along those lines. If I can get up to the double digits in this game. The Browns have lost 3 games in a row. They're now 1-4 straight up NATS. Their offense has failed to score at least 20 points in all 5 games they've played. On the flip side, we have the Eagles, who have scored more than 22 points once this year, and that was their opening game against the Green Bay Packers. After that, 21 points against the Falcons. 15 points against the Saints, 16 against the Buccaneers. So both these offenses have done basically nothing here. And this is a game where I would like to challenge them to put points on the board. I like the under in this game. I was looking towards the under 42.5 in this spot. I want to challenge both these teams to do something that they've rarely done this year, and that's put up points. So for me, it would be a under 42.5 is what I have written down that I would like to bet in this game.
Here's contest pick number 2. Give me the Browns. I just think it's way too wide of a spread. I don't think the Eagles should be this big of a favorite. Yes, they're getting A.J. Brown back this week. And I only noticed that because I have him on my $100 fantasy league. So I noticed that. But the Eagles also coming off of a bye. I think that could be a little bit of a slow start for them. And I could easily see Cleveland kind of – because you got them coming off of a blowout loss to Washington. I think they need to jump out early and often. This might be a trifecta spot for me, Nick, because I'm even seeing the line going down a little bit. It was at 10 for the contest, so I got 10 for the contest. I'm starting to see some 8.5s. So this line's starting to move down. I like the Browns in this spot. I think they have a shot to win outright. I know that sounds.
We've seen big dogs be really good this year.
We've seen big dogs do a lot of damage this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. Give me the Browns.
Down to an 8 now.
Give me the Browns.
Last down to an 8 on Bovada.
And I'll even take a stab. Give me the Browns outright plus 338.
There you go. I'm gonna move on the under 42.5. I'm gonna stick with that. Under 42.5 minus 110.
Eagles smash. Barkley anytime touchdown. Brown anytime touchdown. Team total over. The Eagles are going to play like the Phillies. Tim, the Browns are terrible and banged up. Please don't do it. I did it. And if I lose, so be it. I like a lot of dogs this week, so. Speaking of.
Yeah, let's get into it. This one confused me. I have nothing written down for this game. I can sit back and root for the Colts in this game, but I'm not betting them. Look ahead line, Colts -1. Opening line, Colts -1, and now it's Colts plus 2.5. And we're starting to see some threes pop up. Look ahead line, our opening line 42 up to a 43. We do have a move towards the over here as well. 85% of tickets and 81% of the cash is on the over. We have 81% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the Colts, and yet this line's moving towards the Titans. It makes me interested in the Titans in this game, but I don't know if I want to lay points with the Tennessee Titans. And the ultimate question for me is who's starting this game for the Tennessee Titans, because we finally saw them look good. They are coming in off their bye week, and we saw Mason Rudolph be able to put up points with this team in a 31-12 win over the Miami Dolphins. So this is a Tennessee team where the first few weeks with Will Levis couldn't put up more than 17 points, and they put up 31 with Mason Rudolph. So I want to know who is at quarterback. I'm assuming it's going to be Rudolph. And if it is Rudolph, I'm interested in the Titans in this game a little bit. Not a game I'm moving on at the moment, but at this point, it's the only way I can look is Tennessee in this game. But not a game I'm moving on.
I took the Colts. I took them at a little bit of a dog. I don't think that this Tennessee Titan team is good. And I think the Colts have a lot more to show. Do you want to know a reason why they're probably as cheap as they are right now, Nick? No Jonathan Taylor this week.
Oh, okay.
That's the big injury. I got the Colts at plus 131. So there you go. But I'm gonna be running with the Colts this week. Big player out. Don't care. I just think this Tennessee Titans team is awful.
Fair. I agree.
Colts money line, that minus 2.5 is a trap.
It very well could be.
Will is starting tomorrow. Fair enough. Nick, before we jump into the next game, we'll go ahead and celebrate because the Buffalo Sabres will get their first win of the year. 5-2 right now over the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, I stayed away from that game.
Huh? Yeah, I had the Panthers puck line, but whatever.
Yeah, there you go. We'll move on. The Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers 3-point favorites here, total of 36 in this game. I had 2 plays written down for this one here, side and a total in this game. It's an ugly one. This line opened up. Look ahead line 2.5, opening line 2. Moved up to a 2.5. Now we're seeing 3s across the board with these Chargers. Look ahead line 37.5, opening line 36.5, down to a 36. It's a low total for this one here, but I think it's low for a reason. We have 85% of the tickets and 73% of the cash is on the over. The line's dropping though. And then we have 61% of the tickets and 53% of the cash on the Broncos. And why not back the Broncos in this game? They've looked good lately. They're coming in off of a few wins. I mean, I think I was on them the last couple weeks as well. I was not on them against the Jets, but I was all over them against the Raiders, and I had them against the Buccaneers. So I've had them 2 of the last 3 weeks. They won 3 games in a row. They're looking good. We have the Chargers coming in off of a bye week after their 17 loss against the Chiefs in that game. They pushed or won or covered, depending if you got the 6.5, 7, or 7.5. Because I saw all 3 of those numbers available during that week. And I have written down Chargers and under for me in this game. And I know a lot of people, when they look at a side and a total, they don't want to lay points and take an under as well. And I fully understand that. But I kind of want to do both in this game, but I kind of don't at the same time. I want to figure out whether or not I want to lay the points or just take the under in this game. And I got to sit down and figure out whether or not I'm going to do which one. So for me, it's a no play at the moment, but I would only look towards the Chargers in the under at the moment. I don't know which one yet.
I'll grab another home dog. I grabbed it outright. Give me the Denver Broncos. It's a Broncos team that's looked good this year. Bo Nix actually has looked competent the last couple of weeks, especially last week in a big blowout win versus Las Vegas. He had a rough first 2 weeks, like every other rookie quarterback in this class, and then has rattled off 3 straight wins. This is a Broncos team that's looked good. Their defenses look great. I'm not high on this Chargers team, who's 2-2. They're coming off of their bye week. I don't hate your under look. The Chargers have gone under in every single game, but I'm grabbing the Denver Broncos at some plus money here.
I like the under better than I like the Chargers in this game. Is the way I would approach this. And the kind of way I would lean in this game, it would be under before the Chargers. So I want to see if I can get. I want to see if I can get. Oh, wow, it's a 35.5 now. All right, I got some thinking to do for this game. I don't know yet.
Richardson is playing for the Colts.
Okay.
Chargers money line. Broncos ain't winning 4 in a row. You gotta show me.
Fair.
Okay. I've got Broncos season wins over 8.5, an alternate over 9.5. There you go. That should be good plus money because I believe their win total is at 4.5, 5.5 in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So
they look like a solid team.
Broncos won't score over 15 points.
I could definitely see that. And we know the Chargers have had plenty of time to prepare for Bo Nix in this offense to a point where I do think the under is probably the play.
Let's keep rolling, Nick.
Yeah. Plus, I remember saying in the beginning of the season, Charger unders. And I think I've been on maybe 1 or 2. I'm not sure yet. So I think I'm going to move on that under. Let's get into it here. And we have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Steelers 3-point favorites in this game with a total of 36.5. When we were 3 weeks in, I had 2 teams that I had circled were 3-0 luck boxes. And if the Raiders were to win this game, both those 3-0 luck boxes would be 3-3 then. So with the Seahawks losing earlier in the week and the Steelers hopefully losing this game here. Let's get into the line history of this one. Line opened up, look ahead 2.5, opening line 3. And it's moved 6 cents towards the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look ahead line 38.5, opening line 37, down to a 36.5. Once again, a very, very low total. But we know the Steelers team loves to play in those grimy under type of games. 88% of the tickets and 58% of the cash is on the over. The sharp money, 12% of the tickets and 42% of the cash is all over the under in this game. And I think I played the Raiders in my contest here. Nope, I did not. It was Jaguars, Patriots, Bucks, and then we have 2 teams to talk about going later in the slate. And for me, the Raiders were a look for me as well. 77% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the Steelers, and the line has moved 6 cents towards them. I want to see a little bit more of a line movement there with that type of money coming in on them. And as I mentioned, they were kind of luck boxes there. They beat the Atlanta Falcons without scoring a touchdown. They beat the Denver Broncos without scoring an offensive touchdown. They won that game 13-7. My bad. They did score an offensive touchdown. They scored one singular offensive touchdown in that game. And then they beat the Chargers 20-10. They followed that up with a 27-24 loss against the Indianapolis Colts. And then they lost last Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys. The Raiders are coming off an embarrassing 34-18 loss against the Denver Broncos in their last game. And I want to go Raiders and under in this game. And I know the side of the totals with unders are kind of nerve-wracking because you're expecting teams to just shut down the other team defensively. But I think this is a spot where I would like to fade the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. I think both 3-0 luck boxes at the end of the week will be 3-3. And I would like to take the Raiders and the under in this game. Raiders +3 in the under. I want to see if I can get a 3 and a hook. That would be really nice if I could. It's 3. That's a solid 3, and it's 36.5. All right. I'm probably going to move on both of those after the show.
I'm on the Raiders. And I just think that the regression is going to hit the Steelers pretty hard. I'm not high on the Raiders. Not high on the Steelers. I'm higher on the Raiders. I said that the Raiders would give the Chiefs the best run for their money. Obviously, I wasn't saying that anybody was going to compete with the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. But Vegas is 2-3. Denver's 3-2. So those are the two teams that are kind of competitive. 2-2 for San Diego. But I'm higher on this Raiders team. I think you're going to see some good stuff out of the Raiders coming up. So I'm going to take them on the money line here. Give me the Raiders. What are you pumping for? Something hockey?
Toronto goal, 4-2 Maple Leafs. Just got that team total over 3.5 with the Maple Leafs, and the -1 line looked great.
I was stupid to bet the.
Yep,
that was stupid of me to bet the Penguins today.
One thing I'm really concerned about right now is the what do you call it? What's wrong with the Avalanche right now? It's 2-0 Columbus. I took the first period puck line with Colorado and Edmonton tonight, the two big favorites. I took the first period puck lines with them, thinking that they were going to show up after being embarrassed the previous game. I was wrong with the Avalanche. They have no shame whatsoever. So that's unfortunate. But Toronto team total over just came through. That's what I was pumping my fist about. I needed something to go right in hockey, and not much else is other than the overs in the Utah game.
Yeah, but this was preseason. I had to go back and look. Season was 5.5, 6.5. I'm usually spot on with my numbers in this chat. Okay. Yeah. I was about to say, because I that was a really high total. I got what you mean then. Steelers and the Raiders team total under. Not really a fan of that one. Steelers defense, no joke. That's fine. But I'm gonna still stick with my play. It's a must win for the Steelers.
Is it though? They're 3-2. Their division's doing nothing spectacular. I mean, the Ravens look vulnerable. The Bengals look horrible. And so do the Browns. I don't think it's a must-win game.
Yeah, go Leafs. Raiders are free-falling right now.
They lost one game.
They lost one game. And they're free-falling?
Yeah.
They lost, they won. They lost, they won. They lost. They're going to win. That's what that's telling me. I'm kidding. That's not a cap. But let's keep on rolling. I actually really like this game, and it's down to a 6, by the way.
Wow. Let's get into it. We have the Atlanta Falcons. I saw 6 when I typed this up, or 6.5 when I typed it up, and it is a 6.5 on BetOnline. That's where I typed up the number. Look ahead line 3.5. Opening line 4.5. We're up to a 6.5. So we have a pretty significant move towards the Atlanta Falcons in this game. Look ahead line 43.5. Opening line 46.5. We're up to a 47. And all these unders I really like on the card. Not this game. I don't like the under in this game. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one here, and let's see if it gives us any type of anything to work with in this game here. If I can find this game, there we go. We have 74%, 71% of the tickets, 76% of the cash on the over. The lines move towards the over in this game. We have 84% of tickets and 90% of the cash on the Atlanta Falcons. One thing I really do not want is a public road favorite. That is something that does not interest me in the slightest. And I get it with 84% of tickets, 90% of the cash on the Falcons. At least the line is moved towards them, 4.5 to 6.5. So at the very least, we're getting a good number, and it's 6 on Bovada. We're getting a good number to back the Carolina Panthers at this point. Now, do I want to do that? I don't know. Let's take a look at what these two teams have done as of late, because we do have the Atlanta Falcons coming in off of, I believe, a primetime win. So they had, it was on Thursday Night Football, so they had extra time to prepare for this matchup against Carolina, which is 1-4 straight up in ATS. They are 4-1 to the over though this year so far. At the very least, this Panthers team, they're giving up points. I want to say they're contributing, but they put the only games they contributed was 24 against the Bengals and 36 against the Raiders. Other than that, 10, 3, and 10 are the other 3 games. So as much as I would like to say they're scoring points, well, they've played the 3 straight overs, and I think the over is probably the look if you like this game at all, because I do think the Falcons are going to be able to put up points on the Carolina Panthers in this game. This is a game that when I capped Carolina futures this year, and I took the over 5.5 wins, and I took a small sprinkle for them to win the division, I have this game as a win for the Carolina Panthers when I was capping that there. I don't know if I can confidently say I believe that anymore. I'm interested in the over. I think the Falcons team total over set 27.5 has some appeal as well. But for me, I would only look overs in this game. I can't look at a side too much though.
I'll jump on the I'm going to jump on the Panthers here. I am not on this this Falcons bandwagon. I feel like a lot of people are on the Falcons, and it just I see this one as another good home dog. And I know I've been on some of the big home dogs or a bunch of the home dogs lately, but I think this could be a good week for that. And when it comes to it, that's where I'm going to be jumping on this game. I got Carolina at a 6. I think they have a shot to win this one outright. I know that sounds ugly. Carolina's covered 1 game this year. They've been getting blown out. Don't care. Give me Carolina, and I would look towards the over in this one too.
Yeah, I want to. Did I type out the over in this game? I did not. I'm going to. I'm gonna add this to the list of plays I might bet. Is the over? It's 46.5 is what I can get. But I'm gonna add that to the list of plays I would like to bet.
Sounds good. Cards 11 losses in a row following a win. Really? Well, they just have to cover 5.5. Top of the division for the Steelers after tomorrow. The Ravens lose tomorrow. I think Drew's a Steelers fan. I'm
funny because I just took the team total under for the Commanders at 51.5 or at 21.5.
A lock on the Falcons. You're saying that they're a lock. Interesting. Atlanta smashed team total over 29.5.
It's 27.5 is what I can get. Shop around, get a better line.
Sheesh, dude. Talbot just became the 5th debuting goalie in Wings history to post a shutout. Going back 75 plus years. Yeah, now let's see this consistently. I had the Predators tonight, so that was not fun, but
I had the over in that game, so that's fun.
Pitt's over 25 receiving yards and anytime touchdown. There you go. Falcons top 3 in the NFC. No way. I'm trusting Carolina to cover. Okay. I have 2 plays in this one, Nick.
This was one of the games I have circled that I really, really liked. And I like the under in this game. Let's get into it. The Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. The Lions are 3.5-point favorites in this game. Total of 52.5 in this game. This line opened up. Look ahead line was a 3. Opening line was a 3.5. Immediately went down to a 3, back to a 3.5, down to a 3, back to a 3.5. We've been bouncing back and forth. Whenever this line is at 3.5, we've seen buyback on the Cowboys. Look ahead line 52. Opening line 53, down to a 52.5. So we have a move towards the under. We have a move towards towards the Lions since the opening line. 58% of tickets, or 53% of tickets, 58% of cash is on the Cowboys in this game. And then we have 70% of the tickets and 76% of the cash on the over in this game with the line dropping. And I know when we look at these teams, we think high-powered offenses, right? We think Dak Prescott and a high-powered offense there in Dallas.
No, they've both been heavy under teams this year. No, I don't think that at all.
The Lions have been a heavy under team. The Cowboys, they put up 33 points against the Browns, but since then they've failed to put up more than 25 points, which they did against the Ravens, which 19 of those were in the fourth quarter, and a decent amount of those were garbage time. Yes, yeah. Which they made that Baltimore game interesting. So that was, at least they did that. I think this Detroit Lions defense underrated. I do. We saw, I believe, the Seahawks get some points in garbage time on the Monday Night Football game, and then they were on a bye, so they have extra time to prepare for Dak Prescott in this offense. I love this under at 52.5. I look for this Lions team to be a team that a lot of people think with the high-powered offense that they have, or the image of what they were last year, which was a high-powered offense. Because you look at what they did last year, they put up 30 points in so many games last year, the Lions. Yep. And I love this Lions team. I'm very high on them. I would only look Lions in this game at betting it from a side perspective. However, I'm not interested in laying the points in this game. I do think they win. At 3, I would probably look towards taking the Lions, but I'm going to take the under 52.5 in this game. I think this number is way too high on this spot. And the only games and the only game we've seen the Lions put up more than, or the Lions do more than 52.5 was last week against the Seahawks. And we've only seen the Cowboys put up over 52.5 once, and that was the Baltimore game where it was 28-23. So they went over by half a point. I'll challenge them to hit 53 points in this game. Give me the under.
Here will be my my number 4 play for the contest. I have 2 spots in this game. I guess I'm going to be one of the suckers on the over. But no, this has been a Dallas team that's been going under a bunch. They've gone under in 2 straight. They haven't been scoring as of late. And a Detroit team that's been going under a bunch this year. So no, I don't think everybody should go look at this game and think, hey, high-powered offenses. Not at all. Last year they might have been. This year not as much. Although I do like the over in this game because people might look at the Lions 1-3 over-under record. I also like the Cowboys in this one. The fact that I'm getting them as a home dog is really nice. I do think this Dallas Cowboys team competes. I think they compete again this year. And they, what are they, 3-2 right now? They're 3-2. They're a game. I think after this, they're tied for the division. Amazing how quickly that can come around. I still think Dallas is a really strong team. They had a little bit of a rough start to the year. I think they're back to where they should be, although they just played the Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers, which are 2 not good teams. But I like the Cowboys. I like the over in this game.
I wouldn't dismiss the Giants right away, and we'll talk about them next game. Don't dismiss that team yet.
Okay. I'm dismissing them. Lions smash team total over 29.5. Okay. Cowgirls 6-game win streak straight up versus the Lions.
This is a different Lions team, though, so we'll see.
If the Cowboys lose this game, they ain't making the playoffs. That's not entirely true.
No, because I think that division's very weak this year. I mean, when the first place team in that division is the Commanders, I think it's up in the air.
Plus 3.5 is a trap. Oh, no. Then I'll fall for the trap. Fine. Good thing I didn't take the plus 3.5. I took the money line. Dak over interceptions. Cowboys home games over is his thing. 13 out of the last 16 Jerry World games have gone over the total. I'm on the over with Tim. Cowboys have no reason to slow it down and play better and play defensive battle. My Lions will oblige. I like that look. All right, Nick. Final football game, and then you can kind of run through the NHL card.
I'll be completely honest. I'm not betting any NHL at the moment. So I'm gonna actually X those out last night. No, because the Minnesota Wild are still playing right now. The Kraken are still playing right now. So are the Dallas Stars. The Oilers still haven't played tonight. Neither are the Flames, and the Ducks play tonight. All right, there you go. I want to see what they do first before I go ahead and bet those.
Thank you.
This will be a contest pick for me right here. Let's get into it. The Cincinnati Bengals taking on the New York Giants. Look ahead line 5, opening line 3.5, still at 3.5. So this line's not moved. As for the total in this game, I think I had the under written down. Look ahead line 46.5, opening line 48, down to a 46.5. So, and I know what people are going to look at, what they see. What did they see last? This Bengals team gave up a lot of points, and that's why the public likes the over, but not as much as I thought it would be. 69% of the tickets nice and 62% of the cash on the over. And the lines move towards the under in this one here. And what makes me really like this side here, 83% of the tickets and 89% of the cash is on the Bengals. And this line has not moved whatsoever. They're taking all this Bengals money. And the line ain't moving. Let's take a look at what these two teams have done recently. The Giants have been playing better football as of late. And I would like to I would like to have a little trivia question for you, Tim. Ready? Do you know which team leads the NFL in sacks this year?
The Giants.
The New York Giants.
Yeah, I only knew that because you asked.
Yeah. The defense has looked really good this year. They had that one debacle against the Vikings, which that loss is looking better and better as the weeks go along. They could have beaten the Commanders if they had a kicker. And they could have easily beaten the Cowboys that they lost 20-15. So we could have easily been talking about the 4-1 New York Giants at the moment right now. Last week they go into – you're laughing. You laugh. The kicker doesn't get hurt against the Commanders. They beat the Commanders, and I am certain about that. And they were competitive against the Cowboys. I'm not saying they beat the Cowboys. Okay, then the 3-2 Giants instead of the 2-3 Giants. And on the flip side, we have a Cincinnati Bengals team, which I said was overrated heading into the year. I said Joe Burrow was overrated, which he's looked good the last couple weeks. They've put up 33, 34, and 38 points. It's not Joe Burrow's fault that this Cincinnati Bengals team sucks. And I said it. They suck. This is a bad football team, the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's not because of their offense. It's because their defense can't get off the field. 26 against the Chiefs, 38 against the Commanders, 24 against the Panthers, 41 points against the Ravens. You had a double-digit lead last week with a few minutes to go, and you blew it against the Ravens and lost in overtime. This team is embarrassing, the Cincinnati Bengals. And I wish I grabbed their under-win total again this year. It's unfortunate I didn't. I'm on the New York Giants at plus 3.5. I'm going to fade the road public favorite that has done nothing to prove to me they should be laying over a field goal on the road this year. Give me the Giants. I think they're a sneaky team that are going to prove people wrong this year, that are going to count them out because they're projected to be bad this year, and they've shown they're competitive so far. And until then, I'm going to take points with the Giants. Give me the Giants plus 3.5 in this game.
I will say I'm not touching this game. But be careful. Giants will be without their biggest weapon. Neighbors will not be in this game.
Yeah, you want to know what else? What did you see Neighbors' stat line last week?
Non-existent.
He didn't play, and they went in there and
too?
they beat the Seahawks without Neighbors.
Well, Seahawks suck. You saw them this week too.
The Bengals are worse. I would take the Seahawks over the Bengals.
Yeah, but you can look at it.
Am I wrong?
Okay. I want to look at the Bengals schedule real quick. Week 1 is inexcusable. You can't lose to the New England Patriots at home. Inexcusable. Week 2 against the Chiefs. Should have won that game. Refs kind of helped them at the end. Washington game. They could have won that game. They had a shot in that game. But they should have won that game for sure. But Washington has looked great. Carolina, they won. They took care of business, as they should. Baltimore is starting to turn around. So it's not like they're playing. They have one loss that's unexcusable. The rest of them are not to bad teams. And I do think we're going to see some positive regression from this Bengals team to the point where we could be looking at the end of October and they could be back up to 500. Because I think they could beat the Giants. I think they beat the Browns. And then they have a game at home versus Philly. And if they're rolling like that, I think they have a realistic shot at Philly. They get Baltimore, and they get Vegas, shot there. Go to Baltimore. We'll see. I do think that this Bengals team is bound for some positive regression. They may win this game. I'm not sure about a cover. That's why I didn't bet it.
Fair.
Giants money lines to play. Giants making the playoff. Oh my God. That is
Can I throw something out there? Do the Cowboys scare you right now?
I think the Cowboys are a really good team.
Do the Eagles scare you right now?
No, I think the Eagles suck.
Do the Commanders scare you?
Kinda.
Yeah, okay. When the Commanders are the scariest part of this division.
No, the Cowboys are. The Cowboys are the scariest part of the division.
No, they're not. Absolutely, they're not. No.
Jones,
the Cowboys to me are not a scary team. I don't see them as a competitive team.
Bold take, a team that's 1-4 isn't making the playoffs.
Yeah. By the way, Drewski, can you go back to the Giants comment real quick? Plus 750 on DraftKings.
Yeah, it's not happening. Tease that sucker up, minus 120 New York, plus 9.5 in the under. At least you're crossing over the key numbers. There you go. Let's head over to postseason baseball.
Yeah, let's get into it. The New York Mets and the Los Angeles Dodgers minus 150 for the Dodgers, total of 8 in this game. Once again, the Mets, the underdogs. I need to adjust my record. I went 0-2 today. I should have taken the Guardians instead of the unders like I wanted to, but it is what it is. But we have a National League Championship Series game number 1. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here, if it'll load. And then let me grab up the let me look up the cash flow for this one as well. When that's trying to load, there we go. Jack Flaherty and Kodai Senga. Line opened up at a 155, down to a 151. Line opened up at an 8, minus 120. It's an 8 at minus 115. I move towards the under, move towards these New York Mets. 84% of the tickets and 84% of cash on the Dodgers. The line's moving towards the Mets. Kind of no surprise there, the public on the Dodgers. 65% of the tickets, 69% of cash on the over here as well. And looking at this game for me and looking at the markets and things along those lines, the Mets win game 1. That's what the markets are telling me. And the Mets kind of held their own against the Dodgers this year a little bit. They took 2 out of 3 in LA. They lost all 3 in New York, but that was when they were really, really struggling.
Yeah.
This season.
That was the Jorge Lopez game.
Yeah, they have since he threw the glove over the thing and called the Mets called himself the worst teammate in the MLB, or called the Mets the worst team in the MLB. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
They haven't played the Mets since Grimace. Just saying. I'll be on the Mets money line in this game. I'll probably take them first 5 as well. With the way the market's moving and things along those lines. I like Kodai Senga. We saw he looked good in game 1 against the Phillies. He had that one mistake against Kyle Schwarber, which that one mistake went 400 and something feet. But other than that, he looked good. And I don't expect him to pitch too far into this game. I think maybe 60 pitches, 65 pitches. You hope he goes 3-4 innings, and then you hand the ball to someone like McGill or something along those lines, and then you hand it to your bullpen. So I'm going to be on the Mets here, first 5 in full game most likely, when I move on it tomorrow morning. Because I think this is a spot where the public's going to come in on the Dodgers. I would not be surprised if this line went up. So we'll see.
I think Mets take at least 1 out of 2 in LA. I don't think it goes back to New York. 2-0 Dodgers. And with that being said, I'm going to take the Mets both games because I'm getting plus money on both of them. I really like Senga. I think he has a solid start, even though he only goes 3-4 innings. McGill for 5, and we're good to go. I'm hoping that you don't even have to use a bunch of your big bullpen arms. Obviously, you will if you have to, but I can see this series. The series is going to go back to New York 1-1. We're going to establish that now. It's not going to be 2-0 Mets, and it won't be 2-0 Dodgers. It'll be 1-1 coming back. Which game the Mets win? I would probably end up leaning more towards the Monday game with Manaea on the mound. That's just me. I will say, I know we were looking kind of at it yesterday off stream, but if Manaea started game 1, that means you probably could have started game 4 and game 7. I would have taken Manaea to win NLCS MVP at 40-1. Unfortunately, he's not, so I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to be taking the Mets here.
I agree. I'll be on them as well.
Do it under 8. I could see the under in this game for sure. And it's the Mets, baby. You know it. That's everything for this one. Night show, which won't happen often anymore. But
no, they won't. They won't be too often.
But we'll put our CapperTeks in the description below or in the chat. Make sure you guys are following all the social medias. We're gonna wrap it up for tonight. We're gonna go record Earls versus Girls, and then we'll go from there. But that's gonna do it for this one. We'll see you guys in the next one. Good luck, guys.